Hello and welcome to Insights and Advice. I'm Robert Perez. Today we're turning the tables on the regular host of Insights and Advice, Richard Chambers, President and CEO of the IA. Today we have him sitting in the interviewee chair to discuss an important topic for internal audit practitioners. First of all, thanks and welcome, Richard.
Well, thank you, Robert. You're right. It's a little strange for me to be on the receiving end of questions, so hope I'll be able to do justice to the topic.
Now, in your talks around the world and in chambers on the profession, you often discussed the need for internal auditors to be nimble and flexible to be able to audit at the speed of risk, I think is an expression you coined. The Internal Audit Foundation recently published a book on Agile Auditing, and our colleagues in IIA Chile recently translated that book and created an executive summary on it. And I know that's something that you're pretty excited to discuss.
Yeah, it's really fascinating as I've started to look into Agile auditing more and more. Now, obviously, it's not a new topic. It's been around now for a few years that people have been using the term. But as I've got a project that I'm working on where I'm trying to educate myself a little better or a little more on the formal, what Rick Wright calls the big A, Agile. Right. And as I'm doing it, I'm struck by the fact that I've been talking about Agile auditing for 25 years, and I just didn't even realize we never used words like Agile auditing when I started to talk about this back in the 1990s. But you know, Robert, there are so many facets to Agile auditing that make so much sense if we're really going to deliver on our full potential as internal auditors. To me, it's about having an Agile mindset. That's what Rick Wright calls the little a. To me, you got to start with an Agile mindset. And if you don't have that as an internal auditor in the 21st century, you're going to find that you're very frustrated in terms of being able to get your work done.
Well, let's get down to basics. What is basically, fundamentally, Agile auditing?
Well, maybe I could turn it the other way. Let me talk, if I could, let me just talk for a minute about having the Agile mindset, the little a, Agile. Okay. To me, that's really about realizing that the work we do is critical and in addressing key risks. And when you're operating in a dynamic environment like we are today, you don't have the luxury of taking a long and laborious process or undertaking a long and laborious process to try to get an answer for management or the board, whether it's insurance or advice or whatever. We have got to be timely. We got to be on time with the answers, or someone else is going to have made a decision without all of the right information. So the Agile mindset really says, I'm going to do what I need to do to get this answer, this audit work done, so that it can be delivered in time to make a difference. And to me, that's what the little a is all about, is you're wired inside to be agile in terms of how you do your work.
So what do you consider, when you look at the big A, Agile, what do you consider maybe the 3 or 4 top benefits of taking that process or adapting that process to internal audit?
Well, from what I've gleaned in looking at work that Rick did and papers that have been published by Deloitte and Protiviti and others, what I see as real value in Agile auditing, big A, Agile auditing, is that it allows the auditor to deliver and to time the work of the audit based on the results, so that you don't start and say, okay, I got to look at everything from A to Z before I can draw any conclusion. That's this idea that you're really going to be doing these 2-week sprints, and you'll make a decision at that point about whether you need to do more work. And the other thing that I really like is that you've got a body of audit risks that you've already accumulated, and you're just constantly working from that list. And so I like the formality of it. I like the structure of it. But you're absolutely right. If you don't have the agile mindset, that is, if you're not wired inside to say, I got to be smarter, better, faster in the way I do audit, then in all likelihood, you're not going to be inclined to experiment much with the big A agile type methodologies, because you're not going to see the value in being able to get things done a whole lot faster.